Hey everybody, Wasasiate. So, I got a lot of noise going on, as I'm sure you can hear. I got the heater, this dragon heater pointed right at me, and I am frozen still. It's cold out here. But it got down to, I don't know what it got down to, but I had a 5 gallon bucket of water sitting here, and it is frozen solid. It got pretty cold last night, and I have the saw running, trying to get some stuff sawed. What I have here is, this is our bifaced that we made. I guess it's a dog trying to get in. Go on, get. Trying to open up my door. Freezing me even more. Anyways, we're going to try and make a point out of this. If I can not mess it up. So these are about a ½ inch, just a hair over a ½ inch thick. Actually, this one's quite a bit more than a ½ inch, I think. It is, where's my mark at? It's about 5/8, about 5/8 thick. And it is 4 inches at the widest part and 6 1/4 on the length. And we're going to just try to start out slow and build some convexity into this piece. And I'm just going to be hitting on these deltas, any of these low deltas. Trying to space the flakes out. As you can see, with here, 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 and a little nibble down here. Just as you can see, we're just going in just barely hitting it and building some convexity here. Alright, so now we're going to try and we're going to grind this again, braid it again real well. Same thing we did on the other side. Just hitting on these low platforms. So we're going to need to bring this side in some. Now I'm just hitting down, so I come across this side, nibbling down. That put a bunch of convexity in this side, right? But it took away all my convexity in this side, and I want some convexity kind of coming over this lip here to try and get these flakes to travel. So that's why I came one way and then I came back the other way, just to give me the edge is still turned way down, but it just gives me a little bit of convexity there. And again, really grinding this mahogany well. Being very careful around this end because we still don't have full convexity in the piece. As long as we don't have full convexity, it's not as strong. So we got a low edge here. It's got a little bit of convexity to it. We're going to try and bring some flakes in there. hammering in right here off this ridge right here, off this platform in here. I should have hit that harder, actually. That should have been hit a little harder. Yep, it should have been getting that little pop. There is a ridge coming in right here, and it'll probably take this. You can see that? That ridge go, there it is, right there. Runs just like this. It'll probably run that ridge in that, it'll take that corner and take the end of this out. Right off this platform right here. I didn't hit it hard enough. I limp wristed it. Okay. So I'm going to isolate this platform with the abrader. This one right here, you can see I just ground that down right there and right there, which relieved that a little bit. And as long as I don't limp wrist it, that should come in and take out most, if not all of that. Didn't quite do it. Alright, try and come in right here and doggone it, I still didn't get it. Still got that piece right there. This is about what I was expecting to get out of that other one I did, but it was an end cut, had a bunch of fractures in it. I got a little piece right there too. That was a risky move right there. Alright, I'm going to regularize the edge. Hold on a minute. I bet you guys' dogs are going crazy. Listen to my dog bark. Alright, must just been the neighbors. It's so frozen. My pads were frozen this morning. I couldn't hardly even bend them. That's how cold it was in here. But anyways, back to this. Let's I'm really wanting to make a large, oversized arrowhead display piece. I don't know if this is going to be the one for that. Never count your arrowheads before they're done. And that's especially true for me. Just having a discussion, and I probably haven't mentioned it enough. And I don't know how much indirect we're going to do on this, but when you're using my indirect sticks, or any indirect stick for that matter, when you have your indirect stick there and you've got it on your piece, let's just say this is the piece. When you're hitting that, you want to hit at this end. You don't want to hit back here. You want to be hitting down here, because back here you're losing all your energy. Up here, all the energy is transferring to the stone, and that's where you want to hit it at. And I have a bad habit of hitting too far way back here too, but you just don't have the control, and you're losing all your power. So when you're hitting, you want to hit way up here at the end of the tool. And that's a good point, and I was mentioning that in a bunch of videos, I think, and I kind of stopped doing it, but it helped someone, that little piece of information. So I'm going to make sure and I am selling indirect sticks, so I want people to know how to use them. But I think I've been forgetting to mention that here in some of my videos. So can't stay on the edge. Basically doing the same thing I was doing with the bopper, but I'm bringing the edge all to center, at least close as I can. Take a strike right there. Sorry, I got off there a little bit, but forgot to move the camera. I had an opportunity to take a flake there. Oops. I didn't want to do that. looks like it has a little bit of a crack coming in right there, so hopefully that's not going to become an issue. Bring that edge in. I was a little bit worried about that one. I'm still worried about this crack right here. Can't tell if it goes, it may not even be a crack, but anyways. Edge is too heavy for that. Yeah, no. Got my daughter and my grandson Casey, my dad, my Aunt Melba, all coming over tonight for tacos. Sunday dinner. Oh, that'd be nice. My grandpa, he grew up in Missouri. I can't remember for sure how many brothers and sisters there were, but there was quite a few, typical for back in those days. I don't think there was like 13 or nothing, which is what was in my mom's side, but it was still a pretty good number. And anyways, growing up back in those days, they were sharecroppers, like a lot of folks, and worked other jobs too. My great grandfather, his name was Jesse, which is also my son's middle name. Anyways, so they didn't have no money, they didn't have a pot to piss in and barely a window to throw it out of. And my great grandfather would give my granddad 322 shells. I believe it was I've been 22 long rifle, could have been shorts. I have to look and see what it is. But anyways, my great grandfather had this old pump action 22 rifle, and he'd give my granddad, grandpa, 3 bullets. And he was just a little guy when this all started. I mean, but that back then you grew up that way, you know. But grade school, give him 3 bullets, send him out, and he had better come back with 3 squirrels. And they fit the family. A lot of times, on most of the time, I guess, on whatever they come up with, including those 3 squirrels. That was enough to feed the family, make dumplings or whatever they were making, squirrel dumplings or something. And anyways, he carried that old gun whole time growing up, hunting squirrels for the family. And before that, my great granddad carried it, and that gun had been carried so long that the pump action part is all wore out. And it's wore out, my granddad said, that's from pushing barbed wire fences down, crawling through them. So I don't know how many barbed wire fences they had to crawl through to wear that out like that, but it must have been a lot. And that gun was to be handed down to my granddad's eldest son. We all heard all the stories about Grandpa hunting with that gun. My dad's got 2 brothers, so there was 3 kids, and they all grew up hearing hunting stories about my granddad shooting 2 squirrels with one bullet, which he was sure proud of. And boy, that's turned out pretty, ain't it? Anyways, that got passed down to my dad, and he never did pick it up till my grandma passed away. And anyways, he picked it up, and the deal is it has to stay in the family, you know. Like that's a no discussion to be had there. Good grief, I got that heat going right on me, and I'm gonna have to move that pointed a little bit closer over here or something. I don't know where that breeze is coming from, but good grief, that's cold. Anyways, so he brought it back, and he went ahead and gave it to me. I'm his eldest son, and I guess there was no stipulation on who he gave it to other than it had to stay in the family, but everyone in the family had an infatuation with that gun. I know non-hunting people can't understand the ties that some of us folks have to firearms and all that stuff, but there is just something special about, and I haven't got to go hunt with it yet, and I'm not sure that I will. I might have someone look it over first. Now that definitely sounds like there's someone here. This has got a piece of junk right here, but I need to get off there. That can't stay there. I guess it could, but I don't want it to. Anyway, so sometime I'll shoot a video and show you all that gun. There we go, we popped it off there. Nice. Okay, so that was my nephew Connor, my sister Paulette's son, and great kid. That kid would give you hope for this generation that we got now. He's a good one. And he just bought him a truck. He owns 3 or 4 motorcycles. I told him, I said, you're going to have to get you a truck here pretty soon there, buddy. It's going to be too cold to be riding that motorcycle to work. And I guess this cold weather finally got cold enough. It's got him a nice little, I mean, he did buy a Chevy, but, you know, nobody's perfect. Anyways, I got my grandfather's gun, and I'm so doggone proud of that thing. All beat up and tore up. Well, it's not tore up, but it's old, you know. It's really old. I'm not even sure how old it is. But I can tell you that my granddad, well, my grandma just passed away a few weeks ago. And she was fixing to turn 93, and she was about the same age as my granddad. He passed away quite a few years back, 8-9 years ago, something like that. I actually don't know for sure. I try not to keep track of dates when people pass away. I just keep track of their birthdays. Same as I would when they're alive, so that's the date I'd rather remember. my granddad was born on the shortest day of the year, which I believe is December 21st. I believe he only graduated the 8th grade, and which is also common 100 years ago. And anyways, he went on to have a pretty successful middle-class life. He got into running backhoes when backhoes were kind of a new thing, or they were a new thing, and that was just by happenstance. He was working at a sugar plant doing something. I don't remember. I don't know exactly what he was doing at the sugar plant, but he was working at a sugar plant, and a guy showed up out there. They were doing some work. Guy showed up out there to demo a backhoe, and he needed someone to help him. So the company volunteered my grandpa to go out there and give him a hand setting up and doing whatever. Got talking to the guy and got to running the machine, and the guy asked him if he wanted a job running a backhoe, and that's how his backhoe career got started. And he owned Collins Construction for quite a few years till medical things. He was on a job site and he got hit in the head with they had some great big wrench on the end of a crane or something to that effect, and they had this great big monkey wrench, which I guess was about 3 feet long or 4 feet long or something, down in the ditch, and someone else was running a crane and they went to lift that thing out of the ditch, and the guy just swung it around, not paying attention to what he was doing, and hit my grandpa right in the head with that thing and almost killed him. Just laid his head wide open and almost killed him. And my wife's starting to Jeep. She's running down to Texas to the store, and we live right across the border in Oklahoma from Texas. We do most of our grocery shopping in Texas. Anyways, I'm liking that quite a bit. I actually kind of changed my mind on what I'm going to do with this a little bit. We'll see what happens here. Where were we at? I said I was going to finish all the stories I started, and I got all sidetracked here. I don't remember what I was just talking about. Yeah, so that almost killed him, and he got recovered from that, and then he had a heart attack and a stroke. He recovered from both, but he never did have full use of his right hand again, or maybe it was the left arm. Honestly, I don't remember now. Actually, it was his left. Didn't have full use of his right or his left arm. He could still use it, like pick up a cup of coffee, but he had to steady it with his other hand. But anyway, so that took him out of the workforce. But my uncle Dennis worked with him. Matter of fact, he still owns the company today. And by the time it was done, they had great big giant trenchers and a couple backhoes and a bunch of different equipment. It was mostly just them. On occasion, they would hire out some help, but for the most part, it was just them. But he was a high demand guy. He was good at what he did. He was actually known to be the best in the business around. I lived in town, pretty good sized town. But anyways, I am proud to have that gun in my safe, and it will never ever leave the family. And it's just a beat up old 22 rifle, but it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to other family members too. And unless you're into that kind of thing, you're like-minded, then you probably don't understand that, but I sure do. Okay. So it's thick, and I knew it would be. I could thin it down some more, but it's a pretty substantial blade. Well, I don't think it's probably 5 to 1. It may even be less than that. I'm not sure, but let's see what it is. We've got 62, and that's the thickest area right there. 62, and that's 10, so it's better than 6 to 1. So I think that's probably good. Just a big Obsidian blade. We're gonna leave it 6 to 1. Actually, we're gonna leave it 6 to 1. Yeah. I really don't care to go much thinner than that on Obsidian. Notched it may be something else. Although it's 6 to 1, it is still thick. I need to when you're using old nacho and you knock a bulb out, you don't want to scrape this too much. You just do it just a little bit, just to knock the really light stuff off, because you don't want to get rid of your bulb that you need to get down into. You don't want to scrape all that away. Okay, I may not be able to finish with nacho because all I got is broken nachos. Yeah, that one's pretty much gonzo. If this is your first time here, and I broke these two because I pulled it back too far and shot the rod through the spring. So that's the reason why my nachos broke. It's not the nachos' fault. It was all me. Doggone it. I should have started that out. I don't know why I didn't, but I didn't. Huh. Yeah, I messed that all up. Take all that time and precaution doing it and then get sidetracked. Mess it up. Yeah, I messed that up pretty good. Well, I'm getting hungry. Oh no! Well, that didn't work at all. That's unfortunate. Alright, that's going to completely change what I'm doing here. Yep, that's unfortunate, because that has changed everything. Doggone it. Alright, well, I've completely ganked these notches up. Like completely. Ooh, this is my nacho that's got the well, I got this one stalled out pretty bad. Okay, yeah, I'm back. I'm gonna have to piece these two pieces together. There's our point. Both sides are pretty good, and I believe it was 6-to-1 or a little better. We'll check it again, but it is 2 3/8 wide and 5 1/8 long. I think it started out about 6, but I'm not sure. But anyways, there's our point. Big old Obsidian blade. I like it. I like it a lot. As far as thickness, did lose a little bit of width, but 61, and that's probably the thickest point right down here. It's about 11, so a little less than 6-to-1 in that spot. So, all right, appreciate you all watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Y'all keep napping.